Hi friends, welcome back to Nearly Same Games. I'm Neil, and this is the Vegas Calling Report. Now on the last day of the calling, we started the day with the Pro Quest, which was a Monarch first edition sealed event. Then I had a few drafts that I got rolled into, and finished the day with the Commoner event. So let's take a look at some of the decks I built and how those worked. All right, here it is. This is my Pro Quest sealed pool. What a mess this is. I got a foil Shadow Verser, so that's pretty, but one Rift Bind, a couple of Piercing Shadow Vices, Bolton, a lot of second swings, great. That's not what I'm looking for. And I liked Prism's list here. It was okay. We're only looking at 3 reds, which is not ideal, but a few yellows and a lot of blues. Not great. I wanted to go Prism. Look at this. Look at this for my equipment. 3 Dreamweavers and a Halo of Illumination. Ugh. And to not play Prism. I looked at Prism, and she was too much of a risk. This pool, combined with this pool, is not big enough to have decent consistency. We're looking at inconsistent hands. I didn't want to risk it. I thought this was going to be too much of a risk. I just don't have enough cards that I want to play there. And as we look through the generic pool, we'll see we don't have that many great cards there either. This pool was tough. So I'm going to take all these out, and we decided to go with Levia. Let's take a look at what we had for Levia. So Consuming Aftermath, Convulsions from the Bellows of Hell, Guardian of the Shadow Realm is a pretty good defensive reaction, and Deep-Rooted Evil, another 6 attack. And here's where things go poorly. We have 2 Deadwood Rumblers and a Lunar Tide Plunderer, and this is about the extent of our no banish 6 power attacks. I believe I have a Stony Wootenhog and Stony Wootenhog for another 6. The rest are going to be scary. We have Ghostly Visit, which is fine. Let's banish 3 Eclipse Existence for pitch. A Void Wraith, which is fine, but not 6. A bunch of Unworldly Bellows. Banish 3 and is not an attack. Boneyard Marauder, banish 3. Dread Screamer, banish 3. Graveling Growl, must have banished. Shiny Blood Tribute, which is nice. It's Hungering Slaughter Beast, which is also not 3. And another Void Wraith. And then some extra, these are pretty decent generics. Then we got a Ravenous Meat Axe, we got an Ebonfold, an Ironhide Plate, and that's the extent of our equipment. I knew this was a problem. I knew the risks, and I took them anyway. I don't feel like I had really good other choices, and this is what I ended up with. Now, the first round, I played against a Bolton, and this Bolton had All the goodies. Lumia Ascension, V for the Vanguard. Had some other power cards. Really solid. Oh, had Spill Blood, which was also really good with the X's. Did a really high powered attack. I was able to block that out and stay in it for a while, but too much damage coming through. And the second game I played against Bolton again. And Bolton came through. It was a lot of back and forth. Bolton was putting on a lot of pressure. And I felt like I needed to swing back a decent amount of pressure. And so I threw an Unworldly Bellow in, and I believe the Boneyard Marauder, banishing 6 cards from my yard to swing for 8. It was not a good play. I acquired a lot of blood debt, which was turned off for that turn. I didn't get through as much damage as I wanted. But I felt like if I didn't try to turn on the gas a little bit, the game would have been over anyway. So I tried to swing in, and that didn't work out so well. A few more turns, and I pulled cards that wouldn't let me exile. I had a pile of blood debt, and I ended up killing myself. Swinging for 7, I think. It was blocked, and I just died to blood debt. I went 2-0, or 0-2, and dropped because I wasn't going to get, I wasn't going to make top 8, obviously. And prizes were, you didn't even start to get prizes until you got 3 wins. And this was going to go 6 rounds. We had an extended start time because this was a very competitive event. So we all had to trade card pools and fill out a list of all the cards that were in the pool. We ended up taking up a lot of time doing that, and the prizes just weren't worth it to me, so I had other things I wanted to do, so I dropped. So that was the end of my ProQuest play. All right, for my first draft, I picked up Levia. And I was pretty happy with this deck for the most part. I had a lot of big attacks that I wanted to have that didn't give me blood debt. I had a good amount of blue other attacks that would give me blood debt, but I felt like this was a good balance. Unfortunately, what I didn't count on is that most of these don't block. And my first match was against Bolton, and I died to a hand that didn't block at all, which was okay for me. This was, the timing on everything was a little bit complicated, so I was trying to get to one of my Monarch Seals and just kind of sneak this in, so that worked out okay. Single elimination, so I was only able to play 1 match. But yeah, definitely watch your blocks when playing Brute. And that pretty much killed me. All right, for my second draft, it was my boy Bolton. And I like this deck. Got a good amount of Take Flight here. All of these are charge cards, except for Valiant Thrust, which is a charge payoff. I wish I had more charge payoffs, but this is pretty good. I had a decent amount of pump stuff. I had some Captain's Call here. This was fun. This was a good core to have, and I was able to win my first match pretty easily, and then my second match was against Chain, and I just couldn't get there. In a sealed environment, Chain is really hard to build. In a draft environment, he's very dangerous. So I definitely keep that in mind. Draft is very different than sealed, and this ended up being a pretty good deck. I won one game and then lost the next one, but overall, pretty happy with it. Having a soul shield is very nice. Yeah, and just doing what Bolton wants to do. A lot of take flights and then just a hatchet, which is charging my soul plenty and able to get to where I need to be. And then when I have enough in soul and I can boost my first hatchet, I can hatchet on just a blue. And I believe at one point I, with just a blue, pop the Gallantry Gold, hatchet, give it go again, hatchet, and that even that is just a good turn. So, or I can punt, if I can pump up the first hatchet, if they block, I don't know. Happy with this deck. Could have gone better the second round, but I don't have a whole lot of experience drafting, so I was pretty happy with what I got out of that. All right, so the big question is, how did the Commoner deck do? We've seen this before. I've done deck techs and done some gold fishing with this. How did it do in practice? Well, at the Commoner event, there were probably around 32 slots there, and about half the people didn't show up. There was a Tails draft, and I suspect a lot of people got into that and just kind of abandoned the Commoner setup. So the first round, a lot of us had buys. Just nobody, our opponent didn't show up. The person I was sitting with, though, at a diagonal with the table, his person didn't show up either. So we ended up playing 2 games while we were waiting. He was on Ira, and we were able to play 2 games. I was able to beat him once with a surprise pummel at the end, and he was able to beat me once. And then we go to the second round, and we end up playing each other for real. And he beat me there. I mean, Ira does what Ira does, and is a problem, but that is what it is. A lot of damage can come through, and but the deck is doing what it wanted to do. It wanted to block with 2 and attack with 2. I was able to do that. I just couldn't get quite enough damage through. And like I said, I beat him once, and the other time I didn't. So, third round, I played another Ira deck, and my deck was firing 100%. I was getting my Zealous Belting, Deadwood Rumbler turns, putting on a ton of pressure. He was a little bit more inexperienced, but the amount of pressure I could put in, and don't forget Romping Club too. There's a lot of times I would get a Zealous Belting out and throw the Romping Club at him, and that is a fine turn. I would like to get, if anything, I would like to find more ways to add another go again attack so that it can prep the other attacks. I think that would make this deck a bit stronger. But my deck was firing exactly the way it wanted to, and third round I took. Fourth round was against a Bravo. Bravo is actually pretty nasty in Commoner. Stonewall Confidence boosts all their defenses, so they can definitely block a ton of damage. And then the hammer comes in for 6 every turn. You can use a blue to activate Bravo's ability that does nothing, and then still power up the club to swing for 6 every turn. So 2 cards, 6 every turn. That's kind of what we're trying to do, but they can also do some setup with that. So overall, I think the deck is pretty good. Again, I would like to find another good attack to bring in there with Go Again that's not going to kill us, with Blood Debt. I really like the not Blood Debt turn, or not Blood Debt strategy with this. Bravo was trying to turn off our ability, but our ability in this deck does nothing because we don't care. We're not absorbing Blood Debt, and so turning off our ability, we can just take those hits without any penalty to us. Pummels were absolutely fantastic. It's just difficult sometimes to set up those turns where we can throw a big attack at them and get the pummel in there. Sometimes pummel just went to the club, which was fine. Yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with the deck. Having the defense reactions in there was definitely good. We just need to look for just that extra incremental attack. I think will boost this deck to be something special, especially if we can get it in blue. All right, that's it. That's it for my Vegas report. I hope you all enjoyed it, and check back tomorrow for our regular Armory report.